Alright, so welcome guys to another review, and today we have a gaming-centric TWS. This is the Cyberfox T1, and around $70 as well, and it's really a gaming-centric TWS through and through, and we're gonna find out why in this video. Of course, big thanks to Flydigi themselves for sending this over for review. Links down below for their shop. First, let's go to the features here. So you have USB-C, Bluetooth 5.0, IP54 water resistant, 60 ms in latency according to the specs. And in terms of the overall price, $65 as well. So in terms of the looks, this is definitely a gamer look through and through. This does remind me of maybe a more gamer AirPods Pro design. So you're getting that maybe matte gray kind of color at the front. So it's off white here, and really looks cool for me. It kind of reminds me of a Gundam kind of design here. So you have some ridges in front. The lip has some ridges. The logo as well is very gamer. And in front as well, you're getting maybe that eye light here, that kind of robotic light in front. And the build quality for me overall feels good in the hand. It doesn't feel cheap for me, so definitely in that price range, I would say one of the better feeling TWSs. Of course, this won't beat out your AirPods Pro. Those feel still more sturdy compared to this, but the looks overall, I do like it. But in terms of the overall dimensions, it's very similar to your AirPods Pro. So if you have held the AirPods Pro, this will fall right down your alley. Weight as well is very similar to the AirPods Pro here. Also, looking at the opening and closing of this, it doesn't feel cheap as well. So if you look at the top part of the casing, it does have some reinforcement. So some TWSs in this price range has that part hollow. So this has some reinforcement, which is nice. Has some magnets as well. So yeah, in terms of the design, it's very gamer, and I like the overall design. So build quality in this is, I would say, okay. Well, not the best, but pretty okay for me overall. So in terms of the lobes is now kind of a glossy finish. So for me personally, I prefer that this is still a matte finish. So the insides, the lobes is a glossy plastic. The outsides is a matte plastic, but the lobes is again similar to your AirPods Pro, but add some gamer touches to it. So, and what's nice here is you have a bulge in the lobes itself, and yeah, it makes it really stable to wear on the ear for me. Another one that's interesting here is even the SFX on the TWS. It's also a gamer SFX, so it's kind of like a robotic, SFX here. It's not the usual ones that you find in your usual Halos. So this is a bit more well thought of for gamers here, so that's really interesting. So in terms of the mic, actually it's quite clear. So I was surprised on the mic quality here. So this is the mic test. So this is the mic quality of the Cyberfox T1. So how is the sound quality for you? Is my voice understandable? Of course, let me know down in the comments below. So this is the sound quality of the Cyberfox T1 with some people talking in the background. Can you hear my voice? Is my voice still understandable? Of course, again, let me know down in the comments below if the sound is good for you guys. So for me, the mic test has some noise cancellation. It's quite clear in the mix. So if you're on a call, maybe gaming as well, if you're on Discord, the other end of the call can listen to this with no issues. So the connection for me is great here. So around 8 to 10 meters in my actual usage. So I would say this is better than your usual Halos. So the Halos are usually for me 5 meters in my actual usage. So this is more stable compared to that. Latency is great as well. So I did some gaming and PUBG, and yeah, there's barely some latency here. So I can pinpoint the instruments firing. It's no problem here. Even watching some YouTube movies. So they're publicized 60 ms or good latency here is pretty good for me. So this is one of the better ones for gaming that I have tested, and yeah, I played it for some PUBG as well. So I didn't encounter any issues on that. So here's a latency test on how this performs in YouTube videos. This is one of the bigger ones in terms of the recession that I have seen for a blonde, and after that it goes up
with the major peak at around 7K. So this gives it more treble energy. And then after that, it goes down to around 12K. So you don't have a 12K peak here, which might work for some.
So looking at the sound, so this is a U shape type of sound with some bass elevation. So definitely yes, the bass is front and center in the mix for me. But actually, even if the bass is really prominent in the mix here, so the bass is not overly boomy. So the bass still has some tightness to it. So the bass here doesn't overpower the rest of the spectrum. But yes, this is a U shape through and through here. So this is pretty energetic to listen to, more fun to listen to. So the bass gives the listen a bit more energy, more fun to the listen. So for some pop tracks, for some EDM tracks, the bass here is really prominent in the mix. So the experience here is kind of like you have a subwoofer in your ear. So one of the deepest basses that I have listened to in a TWS. So for me, that sub bass elevation has some advantages in some areas, but some disadvantages in some areas. So for casual listening, this is a bit too much bass for me. So if you're an enthusiast and you're used to more of a balanced kind of sound, this will be too much bass for you. But unless you really like bass, you really like that elevated bass in the mix for EDM, for hip-hop tracks, this will shine. But what I like about this is because of this kind of signature, I did like this with cinematics. For cinematics in some games, like for example in PUBG, I played some PUBG and there's an opening cinematic there. So it's a bit more immersive to listen to. You feel that you have a subwoofer in your ear here. So yes, it gives it more a movie kind of vibe here. And also for watching movies as well, again, so that sub bass, that elevation, that rumble gives you a more immersive experience. So yeah, for casual listening, not so good for me, but for cinematics, pretty good. So the mids are recessed in the mix, the vocals are recessed, being a U type of shape. So yeah, the vocals here for some casual listening is not the best here. So it's still in the smooth side of things, but the vocals here are not front and center in the mix. So it's still very much understandable. It's still clear in the mix, but definitely recessed in the mix here. But what's good here for me is this is a non-fatiguing listen on the ear. So for a long gaming session, if you're talking in Discord, you won't have any issues with fatigue here. So definitely this is not for vocal heads. For bass heads, this might work, but for vocal heads, this is not the TWS that you want. So the highs here have a little bit of extension on top. So it's not lacking at all, but this is not something for clarity. So this is still more tamed highs here. So good for gaming because that kind of signature won't give you that fatigue when listening to it for a long listening session. So soundstage, one of the key strengths here is the soundstage. One of the bigger sound stages that I have listened to on a TWS, and that's definitely an advantage. So again, when playing some PUBG, it's easier for me to locate that footsteps. So yeah, the sound stage is quite big. Even for some casual listening, it has a big stage. It's still quite enjoyable for me. So imaging here is pretty good. It's easier to locate the vertical positioning here. So again, when playing some PUBG, I can locate the footsteps on a certain elevation. If it's on a hill, it's easier for me to locate. So really enjoy this for some PUBG here. So separation here, given the bigger stage and pretty good imaging, the separation is quite good. So even if you have that elevated bass, again the bass is not that overly boomy in the mix that it overpowers the rest of the spectrum. So for gaming, it's still quite good. So yes, long story short, for the sound quality here, this is a big yes for gaming. But for casual listening, it will depend on your preference. If you're okay with that sub bass, this might work for you. So alright, verdict for the Cyberfox T1. So I really enjoy this. This is one of my favorite for gaming. So what I really like about audio gear in general, I always say that here in this channel, is you have a unique selling point. And for me, this excels in its selling point. So it's selling to gamers. If you're looking for something for pure gaming, this works for me like a charm. So I do like the overall look. So it has that gamer touch to it, but I would say not overly done. So it has pretty good latency, one of the best that I've tested. It has good imaging for me. Footsteps positioning, separation is good. Soundstage is big. For cinematics, you have that ample sub bass elevation at the top. It makes it more immersive to listen to. And yeah, pretty good mic as well. So for Discord, will be nice to talk to your friends here. So yeah, for gaming, yeah, they went all out, and I think they did a pretty good job for gaming here. But yes, for casual listening, guys, this is not something that I would generally recommend. I have other TWSs that, for enthusiasts that you will like better compared to this. Like for example, your Moondrop Sparks will be better. Your KZE10s will be better for me. The KZE10s will give you more detailed retrieval, and also a signature that's more geared towards casual listening pair. And for Moondrop Sparks, you're getting a near IM diffused field compensation, so that's better for enthusiasts. But this for gaming, all-out gaming, I really enjoy this, and this might be something that I will use for my personal, mobile gaming over my other TWSs. That's my look with the Cyberfox T1. So this is the types of gear that I like to check out because it has a unique selling point and it excels in that selling point. Of course, if you learned something, leave a like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next zpolt review. Goodbye.